Well. Good evening, John.
Good evening, Ben. How are you?
As good as can be expected, I guess. And yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. Tired,
And
but
and
otherwise okay.
I would also like to say a good evening. Shalini mentions it here in the comments to our chat lurker, our main
Lurker.
chat lurker. You know
Uh-huh.
who you are. And I thought I would use this little preamble to tell you guys all about stalking. Um, yeah, stalking. Something which is being done to, well, it was initially me, and now it's us on quite the scale by a very weird and obsessed person. And I've been thinking about this for the last couple of days, and
Pardon me.
whilst it's quite concerning, because obviously this person clearly wants to either sleep with me or kill me and wear my skin, um, I also really pity them because they're talking about how much they hate us, John, right?
Why?
But they record every single show.
Well, that's
They
handy.
watch every single.
Well, I mean, if they want to give us their details so as we can get back copies of stuff that we've lost, that would be great. You know,
No,
I'd
that would.
appreciate that.
I'd appreciate that too, but imagine how sad of a life you must lead to obsessively.
Right. Let's just put this in perspective. So you have a guy out there apparently who is copying everything that two freaking losers, one sitting in Scotland, one sitting in England, right, talking most nights to nobody, right, and putting out YouTube videos to a tiny proportion of people and earning like 7 pence a week. So
Yeah.
that's what this guy's stalking, and he's enraged at what? What's he enraged at? The fact I've got a stuffed bear over my shoulder.
I'm not really sure this is the thing, but this person even looks at every. Despite the fact me and you both have them blocked on Twitter, they screenshot all of our tweets. They're obviously using a little sock account to look at absolutely
Who cares? I don't
everything we
care.
do. It's quite concerning, obviously, at this point.
It doesn't concern me
Ladies and
at
gentlemen,
all. It doesn't concern me
ladies-
at all.
But this Twitter account, right, has 0 followers and is following nobody, and has tweeted to itself about me and John over 2,000
Well,
times.
there's nothing to be concerned about. I mean, why be concerned?
This person obviously wants to either sleep with me, which, sorry.
Well, you know, right, don't say it again in case YouTube takes offence at it, but you know what? If they ever appear on the scene, they'll just be dealt with. It's as simple as that. Just dealt with. End of story. And it's not hard. It's not big. It's not clever, but that's what would happen. You'd just be dealt with. There you go. End of story.
Well, I suppose
You stop
so.
it.
Look, they're not going to stop, right? They've been
Well,
doing
they
this
would
to me.
if they dealt with me.
Look, this same person has been doing this to me for over 2 years straight. This same person, it's just been obsessive, compulsive.
Yeah, but, you know, as I said,
really-
if they ever turn up, you just get dealt with.
Well, they wouldn't turn up, John. In fact, you know what?
And you know that
As
that's...
stalker-
Yeah, I think you know now, Ben, that that's no idle threat.
Well, anyway, I will say, I'll say now, as I know you're watching Stalker, hello, feel free to come on and have a conversation with us and explain what the hell goes through your head,
Well-
because I'd like to know.
Yeah, I'm not really interested. The guy's mentally ill. End of story, right? It's either Adam or it's another mentally ill guy, right? So let's just pass. You know, I'm not really interested in them at all. They don't give me any concern, and they don't keep me up at night. Robin, you got a good point. You've got a good point. Did they ever give a like? Well, I'm pretty sure they give a like and take them away all the time because our likes go up and down by one nearly every day. Right,
And then we get a serial disliker who we know who that is.
there's always every video almost has a dislike against it.
Do you think he's pleasuring himself while he hits the dislike button?
No, I think he's pleasuring himself while he looks upon our faces, because we are Adonai.
Well, let's face it, he doesn't look at anything else.
Although, I don't know what you've done with your hair tonight, but it looks like you're wearing a syrup.
I am, yeah.
You look like Burt Reynolds from Smokey and the Bandit. Right, with that, let's crack on, shall we? So welcome everyone to this episode 257 of Chasing Dissent Live with me, John, and with Ben.
Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yo, I got a lot of shit to say, so I'ma do this every day. I'll be writing things until I'm fucking buried in my grave.
There we go. Hair flick. Hair flick. Right. So I'm
now
just...
we've given the. I was going to say. Now we've given the stalker the attention he so beautifully craves of us. I know
people,
that he's been craving us.
Hold on, people of the troll room, speak to me. Is Ben loud enough? Speak to them, Ben.
I'll speak to you.
No, speak to them.
I'll speak to you.
Right, speak to me.
Right there. No, I'm looking down the camera. I'm speaking to them, directly to them. Hello, people. How are you? They're saying it's fine.
Yep, okay, let's carry on. Chaz, yes, Chaz is good. In fact, Chaz, Ben was moaning about wanting you to go down and visit him. What do you think of that, Chaz? Oh, no, that didn't work. Hold on. Where are we? Where are we meant to be?
Nah, it's all gone wrong.
No, that go wrong. What happened there? Oh, right. So, Chaz, Ben was Ben was talking about you going down and visit him. What do you think of that idea? He didn't say much. He just gave you a funny look.
That was quite concerning. I'm not gonna lie. How are you doing all day?
No, it didn't take me long. He's quite easily trained. I just asked him to turn to the turn to the left, Chaz. Give me a little bit of shoulder. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah. That was quite terrifying. I'm not gonna lie.
Was it?
Quite terrifying. Yeah. Well, it's made Cellini happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Right. Let's shall we crack on? So you said Vegas Loop, and I said okay, I'll put it on the list. So talk to me. What is it?
Right. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Elon Musk's. I mean, this is a little bit of a story of expectation versus reality, right? So Elon Musk has always said, "I'm going to beat the traffic jams by building something called a hyperloop." Do you remember that? Is
this the boring company?
Yeah, but the hyperloop, the concept of the hyperloop was supposed to be like, oh, once we've done it, you'll be able to get in this pod in this small, vacuum-sealed tunnel and go from Washington DC to New York in like 27 minutes or something.
Yeah, he's kind of scaled it back, hasn't he?
Right. So he built. Well, he's now building another 61 stations, I believe, or something like that. But he built this thing in Vegas called the Vegas Loop, and it was supposed to be a proof of concept. And to a point, it kind of is, because the Boring Company are digging very quickly. They're digging their tunnels and laying them very quickly, quicker than I think pretty much anybody else can. But you were expecting these futuristic, traveling tubes, and what you actually got was, and this is the expectation versus reality thing. You go down some escalators to an underground tunnel. You pay some money. You get in a Tesla, and you get chauffeur driven through a tunnel from one bit of Vegas to the other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the thing is, despite the fact that wasn't what was promised,
Yeah.
Vegas have gone, yeah, Elon, have some more money. Do it, build some more.
Yeah, it's a
This
bit of a
man-
disappointment. I mean, the idea was that these things were meant to be devoid of air so as the thing could go really fast. So
Yeah, it's supposed to be like a vehicle, whereas you are just getting a fucking Tesla, John.
yeah, I know. I mean, the whole thing's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
So,
is.
Kansas have got a massive EV plant. So
Is it on fire yet?
no, they've got a new EV plant that's going to be making batteries for EVs. And they've found that it's using so much power to make these batteries that they've had to keep their coal plant open that was scheduled for closure to power it. So your EV battery is being built by electricity that's produced by coal. Now, I think there's a little bit of a flaw in the ecological argument here. What do you think? Sorry?
I think so, yeah.
What
I
are you
think so.
doing?
I was seeing if we'd managed to trigger the thing. Yeah, we have.
Okay.
We've triggered the stalker. So I was
Okay.
just checking.
Did you zoom in?
No.
You just look very big. Or maybe it's just
Do you
your
want me to sit
face.
back? Do you want me to sit back? Do you want me to sit back?
Up to you. As long as you take your mic
sit
with
back
you.
if you-
Yeah, everything's very close to the camera.
Yeah, I'll sit back. There you go. How's that? That better?
Yeah, it's a bit better.
Yeah.
So there you go. So yeah, EV plant in Kansas using that much power that it's having to use coal to power it to make the electric vehicle battery. So they're starting off in a good carbon deficit, aren't they? Along with all the crap that it cost to dig them out the
Yeah.
ground.
I mean, it is just. It's the human cost as well, right? Not just,
Yeah, that's
just the cost.
the whole thing's
They're-
a disaster, isn't it? It really is.
Yeah. It's a shame that people don't seem to understand how these things are made.
Yeah.
They say, oh, everything will be nice and clean and green, and everybody will be happy when we get electric vehicles everywhere. I mean, just look at the human costs, the child slaves that are being used to mine this stuff. It's like an open secret, isn't it?
Mhm.
And I say an open secret, it's an open bloody fact. And yet you don't see all of these climate activists stepping in and saying, you know, what can we do to help these kids? And I'm not going to sit here and say I know how to help these kids or I can do anything to help these kids because I'm just some arsehole sitting in his little studio making a video. But what we can do is draw attention to the reality of the situation.
Mhm.
And the reality of the situation is, yeah, it's terrible. It really is.
Okay, I note what you're saying in the chat, and I shall take that under advisement. I'll see what I can do. Right, moving on. Where was I? So staying kind of with Elon Musk, yeah. He's still banging on about his own effective social credit system.
Yeah.
You know, and I just don't find him a credible character at all. You know, people seem to think he's still out there championing it for normal people, but I don't.
No. I don't. He talks the talk, doesn't he? He talks a good game.
Mhm.
He memes the meme, shall we say, but it's you know.
Right. What I want you to do, okay, is I want you to stop thinking about other people and start coming back to the actual show and speaking to the people that normally come and look at us and listen to us.
What I'm actually doing is trying to get to some of Elon's memes.
Yeah, now you are, but you weren't before. So I'd like you to come back.
Right. Okay.
So yes, Elon's been posting memes, but apart from that, he's been posting nonsense about this kind of. You see, effectively, he thinks Weibo is a brilliant system, right? And Weibo is nothing but a social credit system where everything's done on one app. And if you're out of favour in Weibo, you're going to be out of favour in almost everything. And he's trying to introduce the same thing effectively on Twitter, except you're going to pay for it. He's going to make you pay for it, and he's going to have the power to ban you if he doesn't like what you're saying.
I mean, we spoke about this the other day,
did.
And what I will say is this. As long as, and this is going to sound, unlike me, but as long as you can only be banned from the chatting aspect of it, it's his platform at the end of the day, and he can do what he wants.
It is,
But if it becomes a point of contention that you have to use these services in order to do things like banking and stuff like that, and then they've got the power to switch that off, I don't think any person or team of people should have that power. I don't think they should have the ability to be able to stop you effectively living your life. So it is, it's a delicate balance of, can he get it right? And I'm not so sure he can.
No, well, I don't think he can. And the thing is, it would worry me even more if he actually did get people to Mars, because effectively, if he got to Mars, he would be like the benevolent, well, I say benevolent because he wouldn't be as benevolent as us, but he would be like the dictator there, wouldn't he?
Well, that's, I think, what he wants, right? Because obviously this man's got a hard-on for being in charge.
Yeah, of course he has.
He needs to be in charge. So you really think he's going to spend out all this money to fund these missions to occupy Mars and not, if he actually gets there, be in charge?
Yeah.
Of course he's going to be in charge. He's going to say, well, I paid for all of this. You guys are now going to do exactly as I say. But less South African and more Americanized.
Yeah.
Apparently an explosion.
Yeah, somebody said lightning struck something in Oxford and it's burning. Right, so I had a look at the lightning map and there's no lightning near Oxford, but hey, you know what? I don't know how near the explosion is to Oxford, but it's burning well, yeah. It seems to be pretty impressive. But it doesn't look like there's any thunderstorms going on. There's clouds, but I wouldn't say there's a thunderstorm in Oxford. So I don't know what happened.
It is breaking news on Sky. A large explosion has been reported near Oxford after a lightning strike, with a huge fireball seen lighting up the sky. And
well, if you look at the lightning map, the lightning around that part of the country is nowhere near Oxford. So I don't know. I don't know what's
happened. Look, it was a rogue lightning bolt, John.
Could have been. Could have been an EV. Could have been a Ukrainian missile. Storm Shadow came over from Ukraine and hit us by mistake. And then Zelensky will be on, God, it's the Russians! Nuke them! Nuke them! That's what he would do, wouldn't he?
But speaking of Zelensky, shall we move to him? He's continually on a begging tour, isn't he?
Yeah, well,
still on his begging tour.
That's kind of what he's been doing for the last 2 years.
Didn't he just have another closed door session with American Congress?
Did he? I'm not sure.
Yeah, he did. The US government are going to bankrupt themselves funding this war in Ukraine.
The US government are bankrupt.
Well, yeah, they've been bankrupt for a long time, but that's not the point. As people will know, governments don't actually make money. They don't have money. They just look for ways to spend your money. It's really quite simple. Big Papa Klaus. Thank you, Klaus. Thank you. We really do appreciate it. Yeah. Anyhow, let's move on. Anyway, give us the next story.
Yeah. Okay. So, do you know that congressman? What's his name? Jamal. Oh God, I forgot the guy that he set off the fire alarm deliberately because he thought he was going to a vote. He was late for the vote. He went to a door that he normally goes through. This is like a big book of stories that never happened, right? He went to a door that he normally goes through that wouldn't open for him. He thought, if I set off the fire alarm, nobody will bother leaving, and the door will be able to be opened, and I'll be able to go in and make my vote. Now, what kind of thinking? What kind of thinking do you have to think that's a reasonable excuse? He obviously came up with that at very short notice.
Well, of course he did. This is Congressman Jamal Bowman.
Yeah,
Or
Bowman, that's it.
Representative Jamal,
I should have
Jamal
known
Bowman.
that, because last night I watched 2010, the year we made contact again,
Okay.
with Dave Bowman
Okay. Yeah.
from 2001. Do you remember
Okay.
2001 A Space Odyssey?
I do.
Now, what frightens me is 2010, the year we made contact, was made in 1984. Bloody hell! I couldn't believe it. 1984, that was made. That was ancient. I mean, I know 2001 was 1970 something, but bloody hell.
But of course, Jamal Bowman has made this up.
Yeah,
He
of course he's made it up.
He tried to stop the vote. That's
Yeah.
what he was trying to do.
Exactly, that's what he was trying to do.
That's what he was trying to do. Because at no point, nowhere in reality do you think pulling the fire alarm is going to just open a door, and then you'll be able to go in and vote.
I know. Normally, pulling a fire alarm closes doors because they're normally held open by magnets, and when you pull the fire alarm, the power to the magnets cuts off, and the fire door's shut. Yeah.
that's the point of the fire door.
One doesn't open doors on a fire because it allows the fire to spread. So anyway, moving on to other idiots of the week. What about Grant Shapps, our defence minister?
Is he still our defence secretary?
Oh, he
Has
appears
not
to
been
be.
sacked yet?
He appears to be. I mean, that's probably one of the stupidest things I've ever heard anyone say. We're going to send UK troops to Ukraine to train Ukrainian troops in Ukraine so they don't have to bring them over here to train them, right? Which on the basis of it sounds fine, but then you're putting UK troops in a war zone, which leaves them liable to be, killed, right? And the thing is, if those UK troops get killed, you can't claim Article 5 because it's not an attack on a NATO nation. It's just people being killed because they're in a war zone. So it's a really stupid thing to suggest. And of course, I think people being generally quite vociferous on Twitter pointed this out to him quite quickly.
Of course.
Maybe one of them, right? And Rishi was quick. He was quite quick to reverse it and say no military is going to Ukraine. Now, I don't know if that applies to also Grant Shapps said he might be sending the Navy to the Black Sea, which seems an incredibly stupid thing to do, right? Because the Black Sea is not that big and it's pretty constrained and it has Russia's biggest naval base in it. So why you want to send... It's like sending your little innocent puppy over to investigate that bee's nest. you know? I think it's going to be fine.
Well, look. Grant Shapps is a man of many identities, first of all. He's had many identities and he's done some very dodgy things in his past.
He's got a few pseudonyms, hasn't he?
Oh, a fair few, yeah. Yeah, he's run a few borderline scams in his life under some other names.
Yeah.
He is a dodgy man. And the fact that Rishi Sunak ever put him in charge of defence after what he did with transport? I mean, come on, he was a joke under transport. You laughed at him while he was transport secretary, for God's sake.
Well, the thing that gets me is, what's his name? Ben Wallace. Ben Wallace has come out with more ideas since he got fired as Defence Secretary about defence than he ever came up with while he was Defence Secretary.
I know. Well, at least publicly, anyway. For sure.
Because he's always spouting shit about defence, and I'm thinking, why are you doing this? You're not the Defence Secretary anymore. And do you think he smells the snifter of a chance of maybe getting back in there? back up that drain pipe? Do you think
Liz?
Do you think Liz smells that snifter from modicum of a chance that he might just make it? She might just make it back up that drain pipe to the top of the tree.
Well, you know what? I will say this about Liz Truss. If you don't know, at the moment, the Conservative Party conference is going on in Manchester. Well, not many people do know because apparently nobody turned up. But
but Liz got to make a speech.
Well, no, so. This is what happened. Okay, Liz Truss has a fringe event, or she had a fringe event.
Right. Okay.
So
yeah.
her own event, not directly at the conference. It was, on the periphery, hence the fringe. And I believe she got more people turn up to her event than turned up to the party conference.
So maybe, well, Rishi's under pressure because I think, well, you know yourself. It was you that told me that the Conservative Party donors are they're kind of banding against them just now, aren't they?
A fair few of them are, yeah. A fair few of them are. Some of the richest donors had a black tie dinner a couple of nights ago, and one of them, Lord something or other, I do know his name, I'm just don't want to give anybody with the title Lord any real airtime, but stood up and told the others to stop funding the Conservative Party like he is until they can effect constitutional change. Now, I don't know what constitutional change they want because that wasn't elaborated upon, but let's face it, when you look at this whole Liz Truss thing that happened today, the members voted her. The party members voted her to become, Boris Johnson's replacement, the acting Prime Minister.
Mm-hmm.
They did not vote for Rishi Sunak. They voted against Rishi Sunak. Rishi Sunak was the other person in that vote.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're all probably pretty...
Well, they're probably pretty pissed off that he basically hijacked the whole event, didn't he? I mean, he hijacked the whole thing because they didn't even have a vote the next time. They just installed him. So he's never been elected. He's been elected by absolutely no one, not even his own party.
Well, exactly. What happened was he was a sore loser, and he did everything he could to undermine Liz Truss.
Oh, I didn't.
I'm not saying that I support the Tories because I bloody don't. But I don't support Labour either. I don't support this system at all. But
he called
what I will say is this:
he called in a lot of favours in the city.
Oh, of course he did.
To get Liz brought down. He really did.
Of course he did, because people say that her budget was destructive, or her
budget was fine.
Her budget was fine. Not only
in fact, Rishi's
it could have gone further.
Yeah, but Rishi's kind of implementing it now.
Well, to a degree.
Yeah, not as much, but he's started to move towards that now.
Yeah, but she did give him plenty of ammo, absolutely. But her budget, well, Kwasi Kwarteng's budget, was almost a conservative budget. Low taxation.
Yeah.
Growth. It was to support growth. And do you know what? Right now, we are a service economy in this country. We don't manufacture anything. What we need is growth.
Yep.
And high business taxes, high taxation here and there is just going to scare these companies that want to headquarter themselves here away. Mm-hmm. It's not going to encourage them to set up shop here. It's not going to encourage them to grow here. And so what people don't understand is you'd rather have money coming in little and often than not at all. So, yeah, that's...
Yeah.
I don't understand why her budget was destroyed
so
badly.
It was just because they wanted rid of her. And Rishi had the ear of enough people, and obviously the media and the Conservative Party, that he was able, and the financial sector, that he was able to turn the tide by calling in favours.
Yeah.
Shalini says the world's going to end next week. Why do you think that, Shalini? Is there something that I've missed? Is the world going to end next week, Ben?
Do you know how many times the world is supposed to have ended?
Quite a few. Quite a few.
Do you remember the overzealous Mayan calendar believers? the world's going to end in 2012. Oh, it's going to end in 20.
Yeah.
That was 11 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
And,
I know. Maybe it did.
It didn't end, did it, John?
Well, maybe it did, and we're just living in a simulation now.
Maybe we've been living in one the whole time.
See, the thing is, I need to know if the world's going to end next week or not, because if I need to know whether I need to pay the rent or not this week then.
Well, yeah, that's a good question, and you know, I need to know whether it's even worth decorating for Halloween.
Exactly.
You know? Maybe I already have.
You haven't started yet, have you? That flag's not decoration. That's just That's just a mark of your allegiance.
That's declaration, yeah.
It's a declaration of your allegiance.
Have you seen that they've actually? I've been looking at the newest iterations of this flag, and the triangle has moved much further into the rainbow now, and taken away most of the rainbow, and there's some kind of circle in it.
Yeah,
now.
I've seen the circle.
What's the
yeah.
circle? What's the circle for?
Why are you asking me? I'm a misogynist, apparently. I don't know. How would I possibly know?
This flag changes every 5 minutes. It's the most fluid flag I think I've ever seen.
So come on, Shalini, dish the dirt, because Julie's asking, does she stop doing the accounts? Let us know what's going on.
Yeah, we do need to know.
We need to know. This is no, you can't say climate change. It's not ending next week due to climate change.
What? Adam says the circle is described as unbroken and unornamented, symbolising wholeness and completeness and our potentiality.
Oh, it's not a bonus hole then.
That's just word salad.
I thought it maybe symbolised a bonus hole. But why would I think that would possibly be on it? Yeah. No.
That is just fucking word salad. I'm sorry. That is meaningless tripe.
Dread Ice get the same idea as me.
Yeah, so it would seem. Shalini says, yes, stop the presses. What do you mean stop the presses? You're supposed to be telling us. Come on. How's the world going to end?
Why? How? What? What's the cause? Come on, dish the dirt. Tell us.
Is it going to be the Great Flood or something?
Yeah.
Russia.
Yeah.
Russia.
Oh,
Russia probably will end the world at this fucking rate.
I'm still waiting for her to tell us. What's the cause?
There's no point in continuing.
She's not gonna. She's lost it.
Actively mocking us.
Yeah, she doesn't know. She doesn't. She actually there isn't. Well, I tell you what might end the world. What about this? Well, I tell you. No, I'll leave that. I'll leave that for a little later. Right. So, apparently Joe Biden has sent the FBI round to knock on people's doors.
Isn't it like thousands of MAGA Republicans?
Over 100,000 already have been visited by the FBI who knock on the door and say, "Hi, it's not that you've done anything wrong. We just want to have a chat with you." Because you're a Trump supporter. Is this, and you know, if I'm wrong, shoot me down, but is this not government interfering with elections?
Absolutely.
This guy's a complete. I mean, let's face it. I said months ago that he wasn't going to run for president. That he will pull out at the last minute, right? And I still firmly stand behind that. There is no way this guy can now run for president because he can barely stand up.
Oh my
he
God,
certainly can't find the door. What's he like? He's just. The guy's lost it, and it's a shame because he was. I mean, he was always a dick, but he was always able to put his argument across. He was always quite convincing. He was always quite erudite. But he's none of that now. I mean, the guy's a bumbling old ill man. Basically, that's what he is.
Yeah, he's very unwell. He's a very unwell man, and you know, it is. I'm looking for the right word here. I'm going to say sad. It's sad to see how an old man, clearly demented, got Alzheimer, is being used in the way that he is. Because when you see him in these press conferences, and he does a Mitch McConnell, and he like yesterday, where he just completely loses it and doesn't know what to think or even where he is, and then just has to be saved by somebody else, and then just sort of bumbles off in a direction he doesn't even know where he's going. You think this man needs to be
we all
cared
do
for.
it. We all do it occasionally. I mean, I've done it. You lose your train of thought and you go, right, okay, I've forgotten what I'm talking about. But you then move on to the next thing. You don't just sit there and go, rebooting.
Yeah.
Rebooting.
Well, like I say, this man needs to be in a care home, not the White House.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
And it's clear to me. And do you know what? Elon Musk said something, and I'm actually going to quote him because he said what he said actually resonates. He said, "Whoever controls the teleprompter is the real president."
Yeah.
And
well, of course.
I can't disagree with that, because this man is clearly not fit, mentally, physically, even.
I think
be running a country.
I think Obama's still behind it.
Well, I can't say.
Michael's away on holiday, right? Sorry, Michelle. Michelle's away on holiday, right? And
with Tom Hanks and
with Tom Hanks
Spielberg.
and Rita and all that. And whose boat are they on?
Steven Spielberg.
Steven Spielberg, exactly. So they're away on holiday, right? And he's not there. He's nowhere to be seen, right? He's back there.
He's in California.
He's doing his puppeting.
Well, he's in California, actually.
Yeah, but he's still doing the puppeting. He's still pulling the strings.
Although I did see something quite interesting where he was coming out of a restaurant, I believe, the other night, and people started shouting at him, "Is Michelle running for president?"
And he refused to answer.
Just kept walking.
That's because he doesn't recognise the name. If they'd said, "Is Michael running for president?"
No.
Is Michael running for president? He might go, yeah, he might be. Like, he calls her Michael. He does. And one of the Bangles was called Michael, and she was a girl.
Oh dear.
Wasn't she?
You always... Yeah, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I always what? What are you going to say?
Michelle Obama is a strong, independent woman who don't need no man.
Oh, sorry. I think that was Tumbleweed drove by. Anyway, right, moving on. Well, apart from that, then what do you think? What do you think of talking about strong, independent women that don't need men? What about Senator Markle? How does that ring a bell? How would that sound ringing off the tongue? Do you fancy that?
This is another rumour.
Well, right? Yeah, it's a rumour, but it's likely to happen at some point. I'm not saying it's going to happen now, but she's going to try and run for political office at some point.
She's going to try and run for president, isn't she? Because she's that deluded.
Well, yeah, and to do that, she's going to have to. She's going to have to get into the scene at some point. I mean, that's her 40 now. She's 40, bloody hell. So anyway, yeah, Senator Markle. How does that sound? Replacement for Dianne Feinstein.
Yeah, but that's the rumor, isn't it? They're trying to sort of cajole her into Dianne Feinstein's seat. It would be interesting. Because I'm wondering if it is, strictly speaking, legal as well, because isn't she still, strictly speaking, part of the royal family?
Oh, is she or isn't she? See, this
I don't know.
This is a whole thing, because I don't think she is part of the royal family, because she kind of got discommunicated, didn't she?
Yeah, but they still call themselves the Sussexes, don't they?
Yeah, but they're allowed to use a title, but I don't think that means that I don't think they're necessarily part of the royal family. They don't get any of the stipend, do they?
Honestly, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. They use the title, so at least I don't know if they're meant to use it in an official capacity anymore, but I would suggest that whilst they're still using the title, they probably shouldn't be anywhere near American political office.
Why?
That's just my opinion.
Why?
Because it muddies the waters, doesn't it?
How does it muddy the water? Really?
Look, listen.
I mean, let's face it. Right? George Bush is related to the Queen.
Remember the Boston Tea Party, John?
Yeah. But what of it? You know, these guys they're all fucking interrelated. The only one that obviously isn't going to be interrelated with the royal family's Obama. You know, well, mind you, could have been because he's not quite all the way black, is he?
Oh God, I don't care.
President Marco. Well, you know what? If it ever comes to President Marco, you'll find that America is no longer the hegemon, and it won't matter anyway because we'll all be living under the Russian jackboot or the Chinese sickle.
I say bring it on. At this point, I say bring it on.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah, just bring it on.
Well,
just give us your best shot at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, things change, and the thing is, all you can do is sit back and laugh at it because you can't really stop it happening. That's the thing. And it doesn't matter how many marches you go on or what you say and how much you protest. Ultimately, what will play out. And, you know, I mean, if you think about it, and you think about all the turmoil and everything that the IRA put you know, people through in both Ireland and England, right? Because you notice nobody ever set a bomb off in Scotland. You notice that? Never did. Bombed Ireland, bombed England, never bombed Scotland. And you know why?
Because you just stayed out of it.
No, because Scotland was basically a safe haven for them.
Okay.
So anyway, but you know, I mean, look at the horrors that they put people through, and the pain and the incapacity and the amputations and everything that occurred to people that had been adversely affected, the deaths, you know, families torn apart. You know, what's his name? The Duke of Kent?
Maybe.
Lord Snowdon, was he? Anyway, whatever. You know, I mean, even getting one of the royals and all that, and really, ultimately, they achieved nothing.
No, of course not.
I mean, what's changed in Northern Ireland in real terms? I mean, and if you live in Northern Ireland, let me know if anything's changed in real terms. But as far as I can see, nothing really has changed in real terms. I mean, I've been to Northern Ireland, I've been to Southern Ireland, and it seems pretty much similar. Except it's toned down a bit, but it's still pretty much the way it was before, I think. But, you know.
Well,
Mountbatten, that's right.
No, you are... Nothing really ever will change, will it? Because there will always be that tension there.
Yeah.
And...
Well, that. The thing is... I'll be honest. I don't think it's something you can fix. It is akin to the Middle East. You know, you got a group in there that's ensconced and entrenched, right? And this is the same with Northern Ireland as with Israel. You have a group in there that's ensconced and entrenched, and feel they have a right to be there and will never move out. And then the people who think it's their land want them out, and you know, never the two are ever going to see. They're never going to see sense. You know, they're never. Well, not what I don't mean sense, but they're never going to see eye to eye. You know what I mean? They're never going to see eye to eye.
No, and you know what? That's okay. And I know people might go, oh, but we don't have to agree on everything. We don't have to, as long as we aren't coming to blows. We don't have to see eye to eye.
Yeah,
we really don't. And we don't have to do anything to, you know, harm one another. But unfortunately, people like the IRA didn't get that message.
Yeah,
and aren't some of them actually in political office now?
Oh yeah, they are. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they should be in prison. But that's just
yeah. Well, one man's freedom fighters, another man's terrorist. You know, what's his name? Nelson Mandela. You know, same thing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
exactly the same thing.
A Mandela necklace wasn't a thing that you wanted on, you know?
Absolutely not. Nope.
But hey, as they say, one man's freedom fighter, another man's terrorist. Anyway, speaking of single-use plastics, i.e. Meghan Markle, they've been banned in England and Wales.
Haven't they always? Haven't they been banned here for a while?
No, single-use plastics, cutlery,
What, like
plates, everything.
in totality?
Now banned.
Why?
Because you can't have single-use plastics.
But why?
Because of climate change. Climate change, don't you know? Net zero. The march to the Stone Age.
You are, yeah, that's exactly what it is. Net zero, indeed. I just don't understand it. I really don't understand this absolute. Well, it's like the plastic straw thing, right? And what people don't understand about that, like I spoke about the plastic straw thing in terms of certain disabled people, and there are needs. There are disabled people who can only consume things through a straw and would not be able to do it with a paper straw, or would not be able to. You know, there's plenty of reasons why some of these things should still exist.
I can't use a paper straws. Paper straws don't work, right? End of story. They do not work, right? They particularly don't work when you've got a long drink or something like a milkshake, right? They just do not work. You can't use a paper straw. And you leave your
metal straws in the car.
But a metal straw's no use either, because they get too fucking cold. Because they conduct heat perfectly, or they conduct heat away perfectly, so you end up, they freeze to your lips. Or you fall over and impale yourself in the brain through your eyeball, which has happened. Someone has died like that, right? Metal straws aren't a great... Sorry?
Fantastic.
Yeah, metal straws aren't a great solution. Plastic straws were sensible, right? So some fucking stupid on the retard sea turtle gets a plastic straw stuck up its nose, and bingo, we ban plastic straws. Now I'm pretty sure that countries like India, which dumps all its rubbish into the sea, right? Pretty sure they're still using plastic straws. So we've achieved nothing apart from making ourselves feel superior to those Indian people that are beneath us and don't know how to work climate change.
That is all this shit is about. That is all this net zero shit is about. It's about making ourselves feel good. It's about making ourselves feel... Look at all the clean air we're breathing in because we're superior. And we're not superior. We're not superior in any way, shape or form, right? We're all human beings, first of all. But second of all,
I don't know. I've never had a turtle, Shalini. I mean, I know they do eat them in some places, but I've never had turtles, so I don't know if I like it or not.
It makes no difference in the grand scheme of things, because even when, we're at our worst when it comes to emissions, we're still under 1% of the planet's global emissions in this country.
Oh, well under.
In real terms, what difference is it going to make? And, people will turn around and say, oh, despite that, if you don't do your bit, you don't be shown to be doing your bit. Well, at the end of the day, the people that need to do, quote unquote, their bit, because they are responsible for collectively well over 70% of global emissions, are sticking their fingers up at us and saying we're building more coal plants.
Yeah. You know what? And Robin says that. I mean, this is the party line. If you want to change the world, start with yourself, right? If you want to change the world, no, don't start with yourself. Because if you want to change the world, you wouldn't even start if you started with yourself.
Like Espresso Mechanic TV says, we are apparently responsible for 1%, less than 1%. Of the world's pollution. That means we're not responsible for 99%.
Exactly,
of it.
But yeah,
precisely.
I don't think you do. If you want to change the world, don't start with yourself. Start with the people that are causing the problem. And if it's not you, start with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's not us. It's not us that's causing the problem.
It's not us. We could go back to every car on the road being a dirty diesel engine, and we'd still be absolutely
it's
nowhere
not us.
near what other people are doing.
Don't start with us. Start with the people causing the problem. So if you want to clean the world up, start with India and start with China. That's where you need to start.
They're the places that are causing pretty much the vast majority of global emissions. with their massive industry. And do you know what? I will say we are responsible for that. We are responsible for that.
Oh, yeah, because everybody looks to us and goes, well, we want to be rich too. And you can't blame them, right? And so they look at how we got rich and they go, well, they got rich because energy's cheap, right? So we'll make energy cheap, and to make energy cheap, we'll burn what we've got, and we've got loads of coal. So we'll build loads of coal-fired power stations and burn coal. That makes energy cheap, which will make us richer. And that's exactly what China's doing. It works.
Exactly.
You know, it works. So what are you going to do?
Well, there's nothing that we can do. And, you know, those Just Stop Oil, Extinction Rebellion psychos, and they are psychos, are not going to go and do their little stunts and protests anywhere where it could make a difference. Because, you know, blocking the M25 here, what exactly are you achieving? Nothing at all.
Well, you're annoying a lot of people.
Look at me, I'm virtuous.
Yeah, you're annoying a lot of people. You're making yourself feel good, and you're ending up with a criminal record.
Well, exactly. You know, I mean, I've got to say, all credit to the couple of people that scaled the Dartford crossing. That looked fucking terrifying.
Hold on. Right, Robin, tell me about Teflon. What about Teflon? Teflon factories in the US. What do you mean?
Let's not wait for a written response. Let's move on.
Yeah. I'm sure you'll get back to us. Yeah, okay.
Oh, it's toxic.
Yeah, but everything, there's loads of things. Fluoride's toxic. Yeah, we use it to brush our teeth. We put it in our drinking water. You know, fluoride's a toxin. It's an industrial byproduct. You know, why do we put it in our teeth? Why do we put it in our... why do we drink it? Because it's a cheap way of getting rid of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, yeah, everything's toxic. And well, oxygen's toxic in higher levels, you know? You get too much oxygen, you die. You don't drink what? Teflon. Fluoride. I don't drink fluoride either. Why would you? I don't even brush my teeth with toothpaste. I've told you that. And it's made a massive difference. Massive difference. One, I don't get plaque build up anymore. And I don't get plaque and tartar. And my teeth are whiter. You know, look. They're quite white. You know? Considering I don't use toothpaste. What do I brush them with? I brush them with a brush. That's all you need. The dentist, my old dentist, before he retired, said, "You know what toothpaste does?" And I goes, "What?" He goes, it makes your mouth taste better for a short period of time.
We're not giving dental advice out on this show because I'm a DIY dentist.
No, but that's what the dentist told me. I'm only quoting what someone told me, right? You don't need an abrasive to clean anything off your teeth. I mean, you think about it. Those of you that have got dogs and you feed them if you feed your dog a carnivore diet, right, and you don't give them any of that muck that Purina make and all that stuff, if you give them a carnivore diet, what's their teeth like? Have a look at their teeth. Because my dog's teeth are like perfect. They never get cavities and never have any problems. Their teeth are brilliant, you know? You just don't feed them muck. Don't feed them processed dog foods. Because they're full of ash. Who puts ash in their food? That's what they put in dog food. Ash. Why?
Let's move on, shall we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Canada.
Adam, I've sent you a DM. Could you do a little bit of research quickly?
Canada is Canada's not wanting to. Canada's going to regulate podcasts now as well.
Yeah, when they said they wouldn't. So this Bill C-11, they said it was specifically to make the big companies pay their fair share, right? They said they weren't going to regulate the everyday social media user. They weren't going to regulate podcasts. And the second it's, in law, what do they go to do? Oh, regulate. Oh, regulate.
Oh, there you go. It's par for the course, isn't it?
Yes, it is par for the course. And I'll tell you what also is, well, I'll tell you later, John. I'll tell you later, but Adam has just confirmed something for me. So I'll tell you later after the show. Thank you for confirming that, Adam.
Okay. Oh, right. Okay.
Right. Yep. So yeah, Canada, you are screwed. You are absolutely screwed. If you think that, well, if you value freedom of speech, and people can criticize me for saying, "Oh, free speech this, free speech that," but I really do think it's important. I think it's so important to be able to freely discuss ideas, and even ideas that one might find uncouth and one might find deplorable, in fact. And if you start regulating that more and more and more and more, as I said in my article, and maybe it wasn't as well written as it could be, but as I said in my article the other day, these ideas, the very bad ones that we could unpack and debate and take apart, they don't go away. What they do is they go underground, and people still have them, and they still discuss. But then they start feeling persecuted, and because they feel like they can't speak, they feel like they can't give their ideas over, and then you get your freedom fighter / terrorist. Isn't that right, John?
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know why I've had a sneezing attack.
I had a sneezing attack before I passed out earlier. Really weird. But
yeah, it's no use. That's no use. Right. Microsoft wants to go nuclear.
in what sense?
Well, it's found that it can't get enough power to run all its data centers from renewables, so it's going to have to go nuclear. So the green agenda's failing for it. It's failing. Yeah, well, I mean, we've been banging on about how useful nuclear is if you want to go green, right? If you want to go green, go nuclear. Don't bother mucking about with wind turbines and solar, because they only work half the time anyway. Or it's less.
I completely agree.
I mean, excuse me. A wind turbine's something like 42% efficient, and a solar panel's like 32%. So they're just shocking, because the nuclear power is like 96% efficient. So you go with nuclear power every time, every freaking time.
Well, absolutely. Nuclear power is the way forward. But you try suggesting this to these green activists as a result, and they go, "Oh, you can't do it because of this, because of that, because of this, because of that."
It gets better and better and better. I mean, you get less and less waste every time you come up with a new design, and when you start going down the thing, you know, when you start looking at thorium salts and stuff like that, it's as safe as you could possibly be. It's probably safer than a wind turbine. There's less chance of a blade coming off and taking people's heads off.
That's true.
Oh.
That's true. Fucking finally.
What do you mean finally?
I mean, that was a big gap before you pushed the button.
Yeah, I looked to the left because my muscle memory had the panel on the left, but it's now on the right.
Oh,
bloody
there we go. Right. It's looking to me like we might need to wind this down.
No, we're fine. You talk to him for a second. I'll be back in a tick. I'm just going to blow my nose.
I'm going to talk to him. Well, it's just leaving me. It's just leaving me to talk to you. Put me on the spot here, people. He does this all the bloody time, doesn't he? Oh, I'm going to go and do this. Oh, I'm going to go and do that. Aye. Talk to us about Rumble in Canada. Well, isn't Pavlovsky, the CEO of Rumble, pretty pissed off at the moment? Chris Pavlovsky, he is. I'm going to find his tweet, because he says Canada is no longer part of the free world. As a Canadian, I've never been more embarrassed than I have in the past few weeks. So this tweet here from Melissa Lantzman that he quote tweets says, the Liberals told Canadians that C11 was about making big streamers pay their fair share. They told us social media won't be regulated. The government is now forming a podcast registry. Well, yeah, but this is what happens when you give an inch, they take a mile. When you give an inch, they take a mile. And that has always been the way with government. It's always been the way. So I don't know why people thought this would be any different. I'm going to be completely honest with you. They tell you one thing whilst quietly doing another. That is government. Feather their own nest, control the population. Death by 1,000 cuts. Remove this tiny right here, remove this tiny right there. Make you have to ask permission to do this, permission to do that. Oh, we don't like them doing that anymore. We're going to stop them smoking. And on and on and on and on and on it goes until wake up one day and you've got some kind of ankle monitor on. I mean, I know it sounds over the top. I really do.
Pardon me.
But
Yeah.
this is what's happening.
Well, yeah, and you know what? What's happening in the UK?
It's the same.
The heat pump manufacturers are saying we need more support because people aren't really buying heat pumps.
Nobody wants a fucking heat pump.
I know.
Nobody wants a heat
Well,
pump.
see if you want.
Why
See,
would anybody want that crap?
I know. If you want to buy a heat pump, you really need to buy two because you need one as a backup when the other one's getting fixed, right? I mean,
Stalker, I bet you don't have a heat pump, do you?
anyone that's ever lived in anyone that's ever worked in an office knows how bad heat pumps are because those things outside, the multiple air conditioning, that's heat pumps, right? And you know how often they break down and how often people are there servicing them. And you see how noisy they are, right? So if you're going to have a heat pump, you better have a big garden, right?
Yep.
Or be prepared to pay for a lot of noise insulation. And you really want two because after about 3 or 4 years, they're running about less than 50% efficiency. So you'll need to double them up to get your house cooled or heated. So the whole thing's ridiculous. Heat pumps are just ridiculous. They are ridiculous.
Nobody wants one. Nobody wants one.
And they don't heat water enough to kill Legionella.
Do you want to? You in the chat right here watching this right now. Do you want a heat pump?
No, I don't think.
I wager you don't. I wager you don't want a heat pump.
Right. So the Pope doesn't want a heat pump either. But you know what the Pope does want to do?
What's that?
He wants to send more weapons to Ukraine. So this people, the head of the Catholic. Okay.
Dear Heavenly Father, we of the Catholic Church would like to say that we want to see more dead Russians. Because that is obviously what we pray for this year. What the fuck, man?
Yeah, so it appears that the head of the Catholic Church doesn't want peace on earth. He wants he wants the West to not hold back on sending weapons to Ukraine and send more so that they can pursue their offensive and kill the Russians and free their country. Now,
oh my God,
it appears, right? Hold on a sec. That's
what are you
weird.
doing?
I thought I could hear stuff outside.
That bear up and about. Take a look.
No, he's still there. So it appears that the average age... Well, do you remember the average age of a US soldier in Vietnam? No. 19. There's a whole song about it, right? 19, right? So the average age of currently of a Ukrainian soldier is 40. The average age. That means there's... That's because... And someone said, they need to recruit... Well, it was fucking Ben Wallace, right? Said Zelensky needs to be recruiting more younger men. And I'm thinking, hold on a minute. Aren't the younger men all dead?
Well, they're either all dead or they did a bunk, didn't they?
Well, yeah. I mean, there's over 500,000 of them dead now. That's crazy.
That is crazy. That is ridiculous. If that figure is accurate, why?
Because
it's...
They keep throwing them into Russian defences that are incredibly effective. This isn't the way to do things.
Well,
I mean, I saw a video today, right, which was quite harrowing, right? And it's basically trenches with dead Ukrainians in it and live Ukrainians basically having to step over them to continue fighting. The whole thing's crazy, and they're all over the place. This is not going well. It's not going well for Ukraine.
It's not going well for anybody. Let's face it.
Yeah, but it's particularly not going well for the Ukrainians that are out there fighting. That's the problem.
Of course it's not. Hasn't Cirillo been reinstated?
Mm-hmm.
Has Cirillo been reinstated?
Yeah, she was reinstated last week. Remember, we talked about it.
Yeah. It didn't take very long, did it? That was
but not tweeting anywhere near as much.
Oh, it was pretty nice, wasn't it?
But
nice.
I think kind of had her wings clipped. You know what I mean?
Well, one would hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude is the dude is obviously reveling in the bloodshed. Really is. I honestly, I don't understand how people can act like that. I really don't.
Yeah, I know. Right. So, shall we lighten things up a little bit?
Please do.
So let's start with
really toned it down.
Let's start with Small Bado. Small Bado was a Nigerian performing artist who was brought over to do a show over here and decided to run away from his minder. So he ran away from the show and the promotion, and he basically texted he sent a WhatsApp to the promoter to say, Nigeria, not for me, not going back. So he's done a bunk.
Somewhere in the UK.
Somewhere in the UK. Another one. Yep.
He's missing.
Yep.
He's missing.
He's missing. So right. So let's talk about the SNP brown bin scam. Okay. So when it comes to picking up the refuse in Scotland, you get a brown bin, right, as part of your allocation of recyclable bins. There's a blue bin, a grey bin, a brown bin. Is it just 3? It might just be 3 at the moment. Right. So the brown. 2. What?
Well, I've got 2. I've got a black bin and a green bin.
Oh, no. We get 3 bins. We've got a black, a grey bin, a blue bin, and a brown bin. Right.
But now, okay, tell us.
Right. The brown bin was originally for garden refuse. Right. And we had a green bin that was for a small green bin that was for waste, food waste, right?
Okay.
But they did away with the small green bin for food waste and incorporated it into the garden refuse bin. So you put the garden refuse and the food waste in the same bin, which was fine, right? So now they have said, well, if you want your garden refuse picked up, you've got to pay 50 quid a year. Well, hold on.
They already do that to us.
Yeah, but hold on. We're paying council tax. No. You have to pay 50 quid a year for your garden refuse. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but hold on. I'm not finished. Right, but if I just want my food waste picked up, what do I do with that? You put it in a brown bin. And they'll pick that up without me paying 50 quid a year. Yes, they will. Right? So if you just want your food waste picked up, you put it in the brown bin, you put the brown bin out, but it's got to be half full before they'll pick it up. Right? So it's got to be a big fucking brown bin. It's got to be half full of waste food before they'll pick it up. Right?
Yeah, we're getting there.
But if you put any garden refuse in it, they won't pick it up at all unless you've paid the 50 quid.
They give you a sticker, right?
So, yeah, well, I don't know. But the thing is, they're picking the bin up anyway, right? Because it's full of food waste. Yeah. Yet they won't pick it up for nothing because it's got garden refuse in it. The whole thing's a freaking scam.
So here's what you do. You put all of your garden waste at the bottom, and then you just cover it up.
Yeah, I know. But they actually do open the bins and dig around.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Adam says he feeds his food waste to the badgers, which maybe not such a good idea.
Not a great idea because up our way you'll just attract loads of foxes.
Well, this is it. Here, like, we used to put food out for the foxes in one of our old places. We used to put food out for the foxes all the time until they started turning up. As in, they'd just be standing there waiting.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Go. Going now. And then one night, this was in our old ground floor flat, I went in the kitchen and I turn on the fucking light, and there's just a fox sitting at the window staring in at me, and I'm just like,
Waiting for the food waste.
oh, yeah. I'm like, nope, I'm done. I'm done.
That's crazy. Right.
It's scary.
Next. German family faces deportation from the US.
Yes, they do. Because they're asylum seekers.
Yeah,
aren't they?
they sought asylum 15 years ago and was granted it because they weren't able to homeschool in Germany. Which you find that you actually can't homeschool in much of Europe. I think Sweden has banned it, France has banned it, Germany's banned it. I think Spain and Portugal are banning it. So you Western Europe, you can't really homeschool anymore. So they sought asylum in America and were granted it and came to America and homeschooled the kids. And now the Biden administration wants to deport them. And I can only assume because they're homeschooling their kids, the Biden administration thinks they may be asylum seekers.
They are asylum seekers.
No, sorry. The Biden administration thinks they may be Republican voters.
Oh, but how can they vote? They're not citizens.
Well, you can still vote. Once you've got your green card, you can vote.
I thought you could vote in locals, but not in the general.
Don't know, but you can vote. You can vote here, can't you? Once you've got once you've got your residency permit, you can vote.
I don't believe you can vote in the general. I don't believe you can vote for the president. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
Well, anyway, the Biden administration wants to. Well, I would assume. Well, hold on. Right, hold on. If that's the case, what's the point in bringing in all these illegals then? Because if they can't vote, what's the point? Because that's always been the case. Has always been that the Democrats want to bring all these illegals because they're all Democrat voters.
Well, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because the cities where these people are going fiercely oppose voter ID.
Right. Okay. Right. Okay.
If you can connect those dots for yourself.
Yeah.
People,
right. Okay. So then it's feasible that they do still want to get rid of as many Republican voters as they can.
Well, of course, but also 11,000 people crossed the border just the other day in one day, right?
Yeah.
11,000 people cross the US-Mexico border.
Yeah.
I think that is a bigger problem, and where resources should be allocated rather than a German family who are paying their way and have been granted asylum.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too.
So, all in all, it's just a ridiculous, stupid mess.
Mm-hmm.
And what have this family done wrong? Maybe the kids are now old enough that they no longer need to be schooled. I don't know.
Well, no, the kids are old enough that they'll get to vote. That's the thing. So it suddenly means you've got another 5 Republican voters.
Robin says, we need to show photo ID to vote now. I saw in an ad. Well, that's fine if we do. And I think we should have to do that.
Right, okay. Right.
I think we should have to do that. I don't see the issue with that. And I really do question the motives of anybody who opposes the idea of voter ID. And especially whoever uses the term, it's racist. Because what they're then doing, because we see this a lot, voter ID is racist. What they're assuming is people who aren't white aren't able to go and get photo ID. That is the assumption. And it's ridiculous, and that's racist, assuming that people who aren't white are unable to obtain any kind of photo ID. Right? If you want to take part in the franchise, I think you need to show that you are a citizen of that country. I really do. But hey ho. It's just me.
Yeah, so
come on, John. Don't do a Biden on me.
No, I've got the thing here. So some celebrity has taken up his right to drive sheep over Southwark Bridge today.
Explain.
Well, there's an ancient right to be able to drive sheep over that Southwark Bridge in London, right?
Right.
So the people do this as a just a thing. They bring along some sheep and drive them over the bridge, right?
Okay.
And some celebrities done it, right? I don't know, to make it look
Why?
impressive. I don't know. They do this. What I want to know is any celebrity ever taken up their ancient right? And this is an ancient right, apparently, right? So, has anyone ever taken up the ancient right to shoot a Scotsman on a Sunday while he's wearing a kilt in York? With a bow and arrow. With a bow and arrow. We have spoken about this before. But I'd like to know if anyone's taken up that ancient right, because apparently it's still legal to shoot a Scotsman with a bow and arrow if he's in York on a Sunday wearing a kilt.
So would you like to go to York on Sunday for a drink?
I'm not wearing a kilt though.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Look, I've got the perfect kilt for you.
No.
I've got the perfect kilt for you.
Not going to do it. Not going to do it.
I'm just going to go and sharpen up my arrows.
And then someone makes a tweet in all seriousness, right? And they tweeted a picture of a city in Africa and a city in England and said, "Black people made Wakanda. Where would you rather live?"
Did you see that fucking TikTok that's been going around all day today with a bunch of black people mocking white people hiking?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
I just took a look at it and thought, what exactly are they mocking? Just being polite.
Yeah.
I mean, where was the comedy? They were just walking along and being polite to one another.
Yeah.
Is this meant to be a bad thing?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, because the other thing is, one of these clowns was it Chris Packham or no, some mountaineer guy went on about, he made some stupid long-ranging tweet about how the barriers to the outdoors are still there for, minorities. And I'm thinking, what kind of barriers? If you can't work out how a baffle gate works, or a style, or a 5-bar, or a 5-bar gate, or any other kind of gate, you shouldn't be out on your own anyway, right? And if you don't have sensible boots and appropriate clothing, why would you go out in the great outdoors? So it's like, what are you trying to do? And it's like, why mock people that are properly equipped and are polite to each other when they pass each other on the trail?
Well, this is it. I don't understand where the comedy was either.
I don't know either.
I'm sure people can enlighten me and say, oh, you just don't have a sense of humour or something like that. But it's just people walking along going, oh, lovely day. It's people being polite to one another and, not committing crimes against one another. Yes.
Are you still there, Shalini? Shalini, you still there?
She said good night.
No, I know she said good night, but you're still there, Shalini. I've something for you if you're still there.
Right, what you got?
Shalini,
now.
Is she there? Is she there? She's not mentioned it. If she's not there. Oh, Shalini.
I'm scared, John.
She's gone.
You've got to show us now, anyway.
What did you
Fucking
think?
Hell. Fucking hell.
It was good though, wasn't it?
I know how you made that.
Yeah.
That's why I'm laughing.
No, he was waving. Don't be so ridiculous, Harold.
Was anybody else in the building?
No, of course not. Your audio's gone. Right. Hello?
I wish I could have.
It seems to be when you make an extraordinarily loud noise, your audio just cuts.
It's ever since I opened my noise gate. I opened up my gain because you asked me to, and then ever since that happened,
the noise gate just cuts in, yeah. Yeah, but it doesn't drop quick enough. That's the problem. It keeps it hung in there for too long.
Yeah, well.
Anyway, yeah. So
Harold,
anyway,
you're not meant to get it. You're not meant. One day we may show you a behind the scenes. We
yeah.
may.
Don't worry about that. I think I might have to lose a considerable amount of weight before you see that, because it's not flattering.
I bet you had a right laugh. We will say no more. Right,
Yeah.
have you got anything else for us before we get out of here?
No, I don't think I
Right.
do.
Well, I do apologise. It's kind of been a show of two halves. And
Like a
I
game of
was a little bit
football? I
distracted.
don't think so.
well, I was a little bit distracted at the beginning because I was addressing somebody. Who,
Yeah, you were.
know,
And you shouldn't
yeah.
do that.
No, I shouldn't do that. But unless it gets results, which it will. Anyhow, no, yeah. Thank you for joining us once again this evening. We hope you have enjoyed it. I will be back tomorrow night with another one-on-one chat with the wonderful Sydney Jones, also known previously as Citizen Sid. I think she's just using her real name, Sydney Jones, now. So we will be back for a chat and a discussion and a catch-up to see what she's been getting up to for the last few months. So that should be fun. And then obviously we'll be back Wednesday night. Have you got a rabbit hole on Thursday?
Yeah, we do.
What are you doing?
It's I don't know. I can't remember.
Oh, well, Robin says he loved the show.
Yeah, thank you, Robin. We love you too. We love you too, mate.
We do.
I can't remember. I'm doing a Joe Biden. I'm going to have to figure that one out.
Tony, yes, the grey area on YouTube is Sid's channel name now. That's correct. I don't think she does it on her own anymore, but we'll catch up with all of that tomorrow, live at 9 p.m. Do one on the Moab, the mother of all bombs.
Why?
A rabbit hole. John.
Oh, a rabbit hole? What, on the
Yeah.
that? Oh, I don't know. That's not really a rabbit hole, is it?
Well,
Anyway,
maybe.
I'll suss out what's there, and I'll let you guys know.
So yeah, I'll be back live tomorrow night with you for a chat with Sid around 9 p.m. Feel free to come along or don't. If you've enjoyed the show, give it a like. Please do that. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And of course, hit that share button. It's one of the most important things you can do. If you can support us further, then the links are right there. You can go to patreon.com/Chasing Dissent, Ko-fi, ko-fi.com/Chasing Dissent, or indeed right here on YouTube. You can hit that subscribe button and join us that way. Yeah, John, I'm going to recline.
So, with that, I'd like to thank you all for attending this episode 257 of Chasing Dissent Live with me, John, and with Ben, and also with Chaz. It's been great. For you.
Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yo, I got a lot of shit to say, so I'ma do this every day. I'll be writing things until I'm fucking buried in my grave. 6 feet deep under, but my body won't decay. Cause my messages are timeless, so they'll put them on display. Oh yeah, I rap with a certainty, I have a sense of urgency. A message for eternity, for everyone internally. I had some people burning me, but now they fucking learn to see I ain't the one to fuck with. Now they looking nervously, and I don't really care what you think of me respectfully. You can kick rocks if you think you're fucking better, see. I will outwork you, turn you to an enemy. Hurt you so bad that you're gonna need some therapy. I got the motherfucking recipe. I've been cooking up hits, I'ma leave a legacy. You'll be looking small when you're standing right next to me. I'm 5'10", bitch, but I'm 10 feet. Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yeah, I'ma do it my way. I can't contain it, I'm coming out with a statement. You really changed, man, all your music and arrangement. You don't know shit, shut your mouth, you can save it. I'm the same dude that got his shit my way, so you can go kick rocks. I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Cause I don't give a fuck what you say, yeah, I'ma do shit my way, so you can go kick rocks. I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want